Ever had one of those days where you wake up certain the world can't possibly get any weirder and then bam, it just kicks your door in? Yeah, that was me. Let's start with this. If you'd told me 5 years ago I'd wind up in an honest-to-God war with a homeowners association, I'd have laughed so hard I'd spill coffee on my own blueprints. But here we are. My name's Sam Norton. I'm an architect by trade, spent 2 decades designing houses that looked great in magazines and felt like hell to live in. At some point I just snapped. I wanted out of the glass towers, out of the noise, out of everything except trees, peace, and a fence I could lock from the inside. So I found my endgame. 12 acres of old forest in North Georgia, way off the beaten path, no neighbors, no traffic, nothing but wind and deer for company. By the time the house was done, timber frame, solar big porches, all recycled glass and stubbornness, it felt like I'd finally done something right. Moved in with my wife Ava and our daughter Harper, and for a while, it was just quiet. You know, that kind of quiet that feels almost like a secret. That was us. The driveway was half a mile of gravel woods on both sides, and a gate at the end, full metal keypad, cameras, backup lock. I wasn't taking chances. Across the road, a couple 100 yards downhill, was Pinevale Estates. Maybe you know the type. Brick boxes, fake shrubs matching mailboxes, and an HOA so tight you'd think they were running a spy ring. My realtor swore up and down, "You're outside their jurisdiction." Sam, their problems stay on their side of the fence. I didn't give it a second thought. About 4 weeks in, I get this letter, certified fancy seal that made it look like it belonged on a jar of mayonnaise. Pinevale Estates. Homeowners Association, it says. My wife's chopping onions. Harper's at the table doing homework. I open it up. The letter basically says, "Mr. Norton, according to our HOA rules, all perimeter access must be unlocked for community security. Also, our representatives may enter any adjacent property for inspection and review. Your locking gate and surveillance are in violation. Remove restrictions within 7 days or face enforcement and penalties. Respectfully, Karen Cheney, President." Now, I gotta say, I thought I was being pranked. Like, how does a neighborhood I'm not part of get to tell me to unlock my own damn gate? I snorted. Ava just raised her eyebrow. What's next? They want to name the trees after their dogs. No, babe, they want into our house. That night I wrote back, firm legal no nonsense. I attached my deed zoning maps, highlighted the clear border, CC'd my attorney just for flavor. Your jurisdiction ends at your fence. Further entry will be considered trespassing. Next morning, I hid a new camera in an old birdhouse, upgraded the lock, changed codes. Yeah, maybe I was paranoid, but I'd rather be ready. I thought that'd be the end of it. A famous last words, right? Next day, Tuesday morning, spring chill in the air. I'm pouring coffee and check the gate cam. 2 guys, polos, lanyards, one with a tablet, the other a clipboard poking at my keypad. Clipboard guy's yanking the gate like it owes him money. Tablet guy's taking pictures. No note, no doorbell, just investigating. 5 minutes gone. I call the sheriff's non-emergency line. They send Deputy Ray Parsons' lean mirrored shades. Looks like he moonlights as a country singer. You called about the HOA, he says, not even fazed. Probably just a misunderstanding. Pinevale folks got procedures. I just stare. So if I show up at your place and start snapping photos, that's cool too? He shrugs, climbs back into his cruiser. That was it. Like it was just neighborly drama, nothing to see here. But then about a week later, Ava calls, her voice tight, scared. "Sam, the gate's open." Like open. Someone's inside. My heart nearly exploded. Grabbed my keys, phone, and the only thing handy, a steel T-square. Pulled up the gate cam as I jumped in my truck. Sure enough, gate wide open, 3 HOA folks' badges swinging, marching up my driveway like they were headed to a bake sale. When I get to the house, they're already inside. One's snapping pics of our bookshelf, another is digging through the hall closet, and the third's tapping away at a laptop on our dining table. I don't remember crossing the porch, just the feeling of heat climbing my neck as I shoved the door open. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" They freeze. Clipboard guy looks ready to faint. The woman at the laptop says, "We're conducting a compliance inspection." I cut her off. "You're trespassing. Get out." They hesitate, look offended, like I'm the crazy one for being upset. The gate was open. Clipboard guy stammers. "No, it wasn't," I shoot back, closing the gap. "It was forced and I have the footage. Leave now or I call the sheriff," laptop lady says smugly. They're already familiar with the situation. That line made my skin crawl. They left slowly as if I'd ruined their day. Ava and Harper were shaken. Harper clutching the dog, Ava white as a sheet. That night I sent every clip, timestamp, and detail to my lawyer, Jonah. He calls me back fast. Sam, if they cracked your digital lock, that's federal. Who has access to the panel? Only me, or so I thought. Next morning, diagnostic trace comes in. Turns out someone with a contractor security key accessed my gate remotely and entered a one-time code. The key belonged to a subcontractor in the same business park as Pine Vale's management. That's when I realized this wasn't curiosity. This was planned, coordinated, targeted. I'm exhausted, barely sleeping. Every twig outside has me up scanning the monitors. Then I get an email, no subject, just, they did it to me too. Meet me at the fire road behind lot 74 at 3. Normally I'd call that bait and delete it, but nothing's normal now. So I drive out. There's this older guy, Nolan, forest worker, hands no small talk. He has a fat folder, copies of letters, inspection orders, and a consent form with his forged signature dated and stamped by someone who can't even spell his last name right. They forged it, I say. Yeah. Fought it for a year. Almost lost my land if I hadn't found the old deed. He hands me a thumb drive, belonged to a board member who bailed last year. Everything's on here. Surveillance list too, your name's on it. Your wife's, your kids. They watched us. Not just us, any non-compliant neighbor. Drone footage routines, even notes on who visited. Their plan to force more properties into the HOA by any means, fake signatures, boundary maps, buyouts, whatever stuck. I get home, plug in the drive. It's all there. Emails, blueprints, a pending transfer agreement for my land with my forged signature, and a fake $1 sale to Pine Vale. I was next in line. And they had the paperwork ready to go. Suddenly it all clicks. This isn't overreach. It's organized theft. Friday morning, a black SUV parks at my gate. Karen Chaney in full president of everything mode. She calls me from the gate. Mr. Norton, I think we need to talk. Email me, I say. I think in person is best, unless you want this to go through litigation. She's good. I let her in barely. She goes straight for the hard sell, $150,000 tax-free join. Pine Vale get a seat on the board. I actually laugh. You think after all this I want a seat at your table? She stiffens, then threatens formal annexation. I just hit record on my phone and let her talk. When she realizes, she flips out, then flashes a development map, my property already marked acquired. You were never outside our reach, she sneers. I step closer. You made a mistake. I'm not fighting alone. Everything's already with the state attorney general. For the first time, I see fear flicker across her face. She storms out. And for the first time in weeks, I feel calm. The rest is a blur, compiling evidence, meeting my attorney in town, comparing stories with other victims, even finding a spreadsheet mapping Pine Vale's whole campaign, targeting neighbors, forging consents, bribing county officials, surveilling anyone who resisted. Jonah, my attorney, calls it what it is. Jurisdictional reclamation strategy. Basically systematic land theft with a nice coat of paint. We pull it all together, 400+ pages, technical logs, legal filings, statements from Nolan and others. Submit it straight to the AG's office. 4 days later, they show up, real investigators, cyber specialists. They take my files, question me, and their faces say it all. This isn't just a nasty HOA, it's a racket. Jonah calls that night, 8 forged consents, some from dead people, some from folks who left the state years ago. The county clerk who filed my forged deed is arrested along with others in zoning. A few days later, I see Karen Chaney on the morning news, handcuffed, face like stone. Board members start flipping, admitting to everything, the fake signatures, the surveillance, the expansion maps, even the bribes. By Friday, it's public, deliberate, multi-year campaign to undermine property rights, says the AG. Pine Vale's board members indicted, tech firms, rogue developer arrested, local government implicated. Suddenly, I'm not the paranoid loner. I'm the guy who blew the whistle. But Karen doesn't roll over. She pleads not guilty, rallies her troops, paints herself as the guardian of community standards. They try to turn the public against me, flyers, gossip the works. Doesn't matter. We have proof, dozens of signatures, cloned drone footage of kids' metadata, showing documents edited from Pine Vale's network. The verdict, guilty on all counts. Karen, 13 years. Her tech guy, 8. Board members, 5 to 7. Pine Vale estates dissolved. Common areas handed to the county. For the first time in decades, people could breathe. Some neighbors, Reached out apologies, thanks, even a letter from Mrs. Larson, lot 45. I thought you were just making noise, but you saved us all. Nolan came by with a six-pack. We sat on the porch in peace. Think it's over, he asked. Legally, yeah. Morally, who knows? But I'm not scared anymore. The AG used my case as an example for the whole state. I got calls from nonprofits, law schools, even an invite to speak at a summit. Turned it down, too busy, finally building things I wanted to build. Life's not perfect, but it's ours again. Harper sleeps with her window open. Ava's back in the garden, and me, I lock my gate every night, walk to the ridge and stare down where Pine Vale used to rule. No more drones, no more HOA, just land and sky, and the kind of peace you only earn by standing your ground. And that's my story. So let me ask you, what would you have done? When is community just control with a smiley face? What's your line, and what would you risk to defend it? Drop your take below. I want to hear from the folks who know what it's like to fight for what's right. And hey, if you've ever stared down your own Karen or tangled with a petty power tripper, let's hear those war stories. Justice only lives if we keep telling it.